Hey up lads and lasses, Damphyre here, back again with some more Infinite Lagrange. As mentioned yesterday, we got the Solar Whale today, and it's the module rankings. So yeah, we'll just jump straight into this one. I'll try and make it short and sweet. So first up, we'll go for the M1 slot. So M1, this is the one that comes with the ship. It is S tier, it carries 6 Corvettes in, there's not much more I can say about it than that. It's just really good. Just carrying 6 Corvettes into any fight is just really good. The thing about the Solar Whale is it's probably the best carrier as long as you don't want to move anywhere. Because it is slow as all hell, but its carrying capability is absolutely incredible. So, M1, 6 Corvettes, S tier, it's really, really good. It comes with the ship. M2, also S tier, really, really good. Doesn't come with a ship though, which does suck a little bit. And it lets you carry in 8 large fighters. Large fighters are bombers and the likes. It is S tier because it means you only need to run a couple of these to actually get the most out of it, which is pretty incredible, really, to be honest with you. So yeah, it's just really good. They're both really good modules, especially as carriers go. So yeah. So we're on to A. Now the thing with A is there are 2 weapon systems. The first system is a cannon of some description. That changes between A1, A2, and A3. And the second weapon system is a Damphyre missile system. That does not change, that's identical throughout, so I won't be mentioning or talking about that. It's a good missile system. It is as it sounds, it's the Damphyres, which means it's one of the split munitions sort of ones, which quite a few ships have. I believe it's similar to the one on the light cone, as an example. So, A1, you get a 5,120 DPM cannon. It's really solid. It comes with the ship. It's got good damage output. I have seen Solar Whales dealing damage. They're quite reasonable amounts of damage, especially considering their carrier. They're probably not as high damage as potentially the Marshall Crux, but these things can tank the mid-row. They carry tons of carriers in comparison. They are very good shit. It's a shame it looks like a brick and it's slow. But yeah, the A1 is a very good module. I don't think you'll be changing it, honestly. If you are, it will be probably for A2. I'm also going to put A2 into the A category. So you lose the heavy cannons, but you gain sort of like medium-sized cannons, which are versus small ships, where the other large cannon is versus large. You lose some DPM, but you gain the priority of small ships. In the current meta, this could actually be very, very strong, and it might be worth checking out. So yeah, A1 and A2, probably a little bit interchangeable, depending on what your fleet, enemies' fleets are running. If you're seeing a lot more frigate destroyer, which is what the current meta is, A2 might be better suited for you over A1, because it will probably have a better hit rate. We then go down to A3. It is a anti-air cannons. You get 4 of them. They don't do very much, if anything. I've not seen them actually do anything before. I tried them out, and I have this module. I have A2 and A3, and I think one of the C's, but I think that's it. And anyway, A3, yeah, it just doesn't do anything. Like, literally nothing. I've been in multiple fights running A3 to see if it'd do anything at all. Literally 0 anti-air coming from my Solar Whale. Bit of sadness, really. So yeah, not particularly great. You want to miss, probably. Problem is, I think it's got the same name as the A2 system when you're looking at it from the crate, so it might be difficult. So do be aware, if you do see it, it's got 4 cannons and it's 345 damage per minute. Ignore the missiles, because that'll still be there. Probably skip that one and go for the tech points. Although saying that, as I've said on multiple occasions, taking them all pulls them out the pool, and it might be better for you anyway. We then have B1. This is on the base ship. I'm also going to put that into C. I'm actually going to move the A3 into D. I think it's that bad. Yeah, no, it's terrible. B1's going into C tier. Now, the reason for this is it comes with a base ship, and that's probably the only reason you'd ever run it, because if you don't have B2. So, it's the on return to base, your corvettes, your fighters, etc. on the ship will heal 10%. It can be buffed up to heal a touch more, but it's... Generally, if your corvettes are taking damage, or your fighters are taking damage, they're going to get blown up, as opposed to get back in healing. This is the same issue with the series, to be honest with you. So yeah, it's not particularly great. I'd recommend, if you do find B2, which we'll talk about next, do just swap it out. B2 is carry more corvettes. I'm going to put it in A. It is best in slot for the B because there is only B1, B2. But the B2 is carry 3 more corvettes because you need more corvettes for your corvettes on your corvettes. So that is just really good. 3 more corvettes, that brings you up to 11 if you're running the large fighters, or 9 if you're running the M1 slot instead. If you're running the M2, you can go up to 11 fighters on a single ship so far. And then we talk about C1, which brings you up another 5 large fighters, because your fighters needed fighters. Yeah, this is where you kind of see, like, the solar whale becomes quite a substantial tour de force, as it were. Your M2, you could run M2, C1, B2. You'd have 16 aircraft from a single solar whale. So, you know, you got 5 of them out. That's 80 aircraft just from the 5 reinforcements of your solar whales, which is pretty nuts. It's a lot of firepower this thing can bring in. It really is a force multiplier, but like I've mentioned before, because of its slowness, I don't rate it quite as high as a CV3K, because the versatility is just... gets a bit skewed, in my opinion, because of how slow the bloody thing is. So your C1, again, 5 large fighters. It's great. You can run a mixture of M1 or M2 with C1 and B2. And you've just got really good, solid carrier potential here, which is really good. Then got C2. They're going to go in B. You believe it's 4 siege UAVs. They do okay siege damage. They're actually very similar to the damage output of the Nomas, but your 40 CP cost in as slow as an ST-59 to bring them into battles makes it a little bit awkward getting them in on siege, so hitting outposts and stuff like that on actual player enemies, probably not going to happen. They're going to see this fleet coming, and if it's got solar whales in, they could probably go to sleep, wake up the next day, and the fleet's still trying to get to your outpost. So, you know, they've got plenty of time to react. And that being said, you're going to lose the C1 slot as well, which is what you really want to be aiming for on this ship, in my opinion. It's just too good to miss up. You then get, for C3, some anti-fire missiles. Yeah, they may work now with the last patch. It's a possibility that this could be something that got fixed, so I'm kind of curious to where they'd be, because I haven't tested it out since that patch. If I say that patch didn't affect it, they're in C tier. They don't really work very well. They have the interception capability, but they don't seem to intercept particularly well, so they're not taking down anti-air or enemy missiles. And as anti-aircraft goes, I mean, if you've got C1 on here, you can bring in 5 anti-air fighters. There's literally no point in bringing C3 on this ship if you have C1 available. So, yeah, there we have it. Your choices really for this one, M1 or M2, goes either way. Depends if you want to run a bit more Corvette or you're not running Corvettes elsewhere. Your C1, it's just too good really to miss up, especially if you compare it to C2, C3. and B2 in my opinion, and you can choose A1 or A2. It's really not going to matter too much and not bringing in huge amounts of damage each. A2 is going to be better within the current meta because of the small ship prioritization, but A1 could potentially be quite viable as well. They're not bad. So there you have it. You got M1, M2, C1, A1 or A2, or B2 in your S and A tier. They're the ones that I recommend. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.